Brosplay!
Oh, hey, welcome back. We just watched the Head Above Water chorus.
I don't know what to say.
Well, I gotta say, verse, pretty good. I do appreciate the musicality of it. The chorus, however, is really uninspired, and the rhyming is so lazy.
Well, at first I was listening to it and I was thinking, okay, you kind of blown this out of proportion. It's not that bad. And then all of a sudden she goes into that drown part, and my expression changed.
When I kind
of went slackjaw.
I first heard it on the radio, it felt like a BoJack song, like a song that goes back to 2000 whatever, and that's on the radio, and it's just like a really overdone like representation of the current pop genre. She What's even better is that the image they used for the single Head Above Water is her in a pool with her head above water.
Seriously?
It's like a little on the nose, don't you think?
Yeah, it's a little too accurate.
That's like that Skin Tread song where he's like, MC, you better look over your shoulder. Well, the guy's looking over his shoulder. It's like, it's not a retelling. It's not.
Yeah, this isn't a fucking manuscript.
It's not
you
book
don't
on tape.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't a play. You don't have to do all the lines word for word. Oh my god.
Holy fuck.
I totally understand that you need to be profitable and that is her career. But the real question is, when it's all said and done, when the money's dried up, or at least she's at an age where she doesn't give a shit about the money, how is she gonna feel about the legacy? That's the big question.
You know, maybe she's just having fun. Maybe she just realized
she's just saying, what the hell?
Maybe that's it. Maybe she just said, you know, it's way more fun to just let somebody overproduce my music and dance around on a beach in a weird costume. You know?
Well, I agree, but it's also way more fun to just eat junk food all the time and be an asshole when you feel like it. Right? So I get what you're saying, but the question is, you know, when she gets to that point, she's no longer doing music. Does she want her body of work to be drown, or Skater Boy?
Right.
And most people, I think, would answer Skater Boy because there's some substance there. You can really dig your teeth into it. But honestly, I think all you're going to do is drown in the new one. That was not really supposed to be a bad pun. It just ended up being one.
Yeah, I mean, hey, fucking do whatever you want. I'm also going to do whatever I want, which is make fun of you.
Agreed. Yeah, if that's what you want to do, great. I'm just questioning whether that is fully thought through. And you know what? I'm sure it has been. She has lots of time to decide before she releases. You know, it's not like she releases a song every day. You know, she had time to make this decision. But I just wonder if the decision was made by her, or if it was made by people who have a vested interest in the money she makes for them.
I think that she's got a great voice.
She does.
I think it would be really cool if she did that, like, that hard skater chick thing where she tried to bring some sort of, like, combine her, like, poppy style vocals with some, like, heavier music.
Well, dude, that's why I really like Katy Perry. Because Katy Perry has intensity.
Yeah.
She has decently good lyrics, and she can put a song together well. She's interesting to listen to. But yeah, Avril Lavigne, like you said, she has a good voice. She just, honestly, I feel like she's underutilizing her skills. And I feel like now at this point we're just kind of shitting on her.
No.
But I don't know. I feel like we're trying to be constructive, right?
Trying, yeah.
And I don't know. I felt like we have been pretty constructive. It's not like we said, oh, everything she does is shit. It's not true at all. It's just that it seems like there maybe could be more hands-on interaction from her. That's what I'm guessing, is that she doesn't have as much engagement with this music as she used to. That's my guess. It could totally be off. But that's usually how it goes, right? After a while, you don't have your hands on every single thing. You end up having editors and producers and managers, and those people have, you know, more say in things than they would have in your early career.
Is that the King of Skeletons over there?
This is a big one. It's a big old skeleton boy.
These guys are like awfully similar to the Game of Thrones undead.
Yeah, I wonder who copied who 20 years later.
I don't know.
Get out of my way, bitch. Yeah, these guys are pretty fucking big. We already fought these guys in the arena.
I don't remember any of that.
I actually do have to defeat this guy.
We were talking about something in the arena, and I was so focused on that I barely remember anything that was happening in the game.
I don't even remember what we were talking about in the arena.
I don't remember either.
So you didn't remember shit?
Yeah.
You had 2 jobs. Well, I guess
I don't have.
yeah, you don't have a job. You don't have a job at all.
Well, I do. We just don't like to talk about it because it's boring.
Yeah,
It's not the thing that I want to do. And I realized the other day, I'm only like 4 years into the regular working force, and I already think that it's complete horseshit. And I don't mean in the regular, like, thank God it's Friday way. I mean, like, this can't fucking happen for the rest of my life. Doing the whole, like, waiting for the weekend thing.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Well, I mean, it is.
No.
But mentally speaking.
No, it's not.
It's terrible for you.
Yeah, well, and that, to me, means not sustainable. Because if it mentally degrades you, then that does not scream sustainability to me.
Yeah, and it wanes on you, and the more you do the same job, the more certain things bug you, because they've already happened so many times, right? It bugs you more. Like, I noticed that when I first started, there was, like, stuff that people complained about that already worked there, and I'm like, I don't understand what the problem is. And now that I'm there, I'm like, fuck. I hate that this thing is happening.
Yeah, the main thing that with any job I find, from all the people I've spoken to, it tends to be the actions other people do that affect you.
Yes, it all comes down to that.
And
respect.
Today I had a very good example. I was supposed to be able to get something done between 11 and 12, and then I was going to go on to do the next thing. But, well, actually, first of all, I was supposed to do it at 7 in the morning, but somebody screwed me, so I had to do it at 11 to 12. And then somebody else screwed me, so instead of being 11 to 12, it was 11 to 2. So all of a sudden, you know, your day changes twice in the day just because of other people's actions. And it's hard not to become bitter, especially if you work in a warehouse and your shipping manager's a fucking idiot, or you work in a bank or something and your manager's a fucking idiot. Right? You see where I'm going with this, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a common theme.
Oh yeah, I've had jobs where I'm like gritting my teeth before the boss even gets there, like, because I just know when they get there they're gonna do something or say something, and it's gonna make me want to fucking say something. And like,
morning, Mitch. Morning, dipshit.
Oh, with this fucking shit again. I've had bosses you don't even say hello.
They just walk in.
They just walk in. You say hello, and they go, and you're like, yeah, fuck you.
What's that? There's some sort of a line about a commander who leads from the front instead of the back. Do you know what?
You can't lead from the back. This is something I've said before.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that's what I was
thinking. You have a
about.
laser pointer.
But you cannot inspire your people to want to do work if you don't want to do it yourself.
Yeah. That
is just a fact.
And I'm very fortunate to have, I work with good people. So even when the work is unfortunate, that always like helps things. But I'm also, I actually would just prefer to be working all day. Like, I hate it when like it starts to feel like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to start like looking for stuff to do. I hate that so much, man. Looking for stuff to do. I'd rather a job that just fucking packs it in from the start to the finish, and then I go home and I don't think about it. And that's what I love about like this job essentially, is like when I'm working on Mitch's show, I'm not looking for things to do on Mitch's show. There's like a shit ton of stuff that has to be done, and I work. The time I spend on it is working on the thing, and then when I don't want to work on it anymore, or when it's done, then I just finish it. There's no amount of time it has to take, and I hate that. I hate having to like spend a certain amount of time in a place regardless of how much work gets done.
That's always bugged me, and I think the main reason that occurs is that people can't be trusted not to take advantage of their employers. Or at least the employers don't think the people can be trusted.
Well, the employer will also say, if you can do 6 hours in 8 hours, then let's just find more shit for you to do in those 2.
And that's also an ignorance thing from the employer's standpoint, because what they don't realize is if you paid someone the same amount of money to work for 6 hours instead of 8, you may actually get even more work out of them, simply because when you go into that state of killing time, it takes time to come out of that state and go back to being productive at work.
Yes, that's the biggest part of why I dislike it, because I know I'm going to have to work again. I don't want to get into that state where like I'm just sitting around and then I've noticed that though, like you lose momentum, you lose steam.
Yeah.
And then building that back up again, like I'll be working all day and then or like I'll be working like to the midday and I'm just wearing a t-shirt because I'm getting hot. And then when I come back from lunch, I'm wearing like a long sleeve and a sweater because I'm fucking cold now. And it's gonna take me like half an hour to get back to t-shirt level. And that steam, like that like temperature analogy is like a good way to look at it, like actually doing hard work. Or I mean just work in general actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. It's what I call edge effects. Anytime you do edge effects, it's more commonly like an expression I would use for something like Word documents. It's always the things around the edges that get fucked up, right? Like everything in the middle is handled well. It's the things in the edges that always have problems. So a 5-minute break's not a problem, but it's also not a 5-minute break. It's 2 minutes to like whatever, pack up what you're doing, and then a 5-minute break, and then 2 minutes to get set up again. And so it's just, I'm not going to say it's asinine because I understand that, you know, some people have to run businesses with employees that are less than ideal because they don't have other options.
I'd say most, actually.
Most, yeah, probably most. The problem is that there are people who treat good employees like bad employees, and that's where you get yourself in trouble. If you're treating an employee that wants to work hard like an employee that's going to fuck the dog all day, then you are going to actually reduce the amount of work that person's going to do.
Oh, and a very common thing in shitty workplaces is that they treat the best people the worst because they can, and they don't push the worst ones because they know that they'll lose them.
My God.
Yeah, isn't that fucked?
You're right. Like, there's sometimes they'll give raises to people who are shitty employees just because that employee will leave.
Oh, I've never been in a place where you get raises, so I wouldn't know. But I have been in places where they talk to like shitty people who show up late and they don't say anything. Because if they fuck with them, then they'll just leave because that person's not tied down to anything. But the guy who shows up on time every day shows up late one time and they say something because he's a fucking pussy. He'll take it. He'll be the one to do it. It's kind of like Harold in Harold and Kumar, like the basis of that, like the start of that movie where he is given like weekend work because he's just a nice guy. Right?
Yep.
No one ever would have thrown weekend work at Kumar. He'd tell him to go fuck himself. Right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it today, about thinking about the last place that I worked, and I realized that during that time, I didn't truly have self-respect. I had some, but I definitely didn't have enough to know, wow.
I love it. I love it. Here's Jack.
That actually like stopped us in our tracks. I didn't have enough self-respect to know what I should have to deal with. And I think that a person is only worth what they're willing to fight for and put and not put up with, really.
I agree. Something that I've also seen a lot is that places are much better at promises to bring people in than they are promises to keep people. So what I end up seeing a lot is, especially in sort of fly-by-night industries, if you know what that is.
Fly-by-night away from
so like
here.
Construction and roofing, those types of industries.
Okay.
What'll happen is they need a good guy, and they need him, like they're trying to basically poach him from somewhere else. So they'll offer him a shitload of money and they'll say, yeah, 3 months from now, like I'll give you a raise too, and like I'll give you a company truck. They hire the guy, they maybe give him the signing bonus, the truck never happens, the raise never happens, because they've already got him, and all of a sudden they don't have the urgency that they originally had.
Yep.
And to me, that just seems like shitty behavior. And you know what it is? It's not my perception, that's a reality.
Well, people don't... It's kind of a general statement, but...
Nah, say it.
Generally, a business won't continually do behavior like that if it doesn't work for them, right?
Yep.
There's definitely situations where you're like, hey, if you switched over to this thing, spent an extra $50, you will save 25 every month, and you'll make the money up in 2, and they just refuse because they like their old ways. Of course, there's that shit like that. But a company who does what you were talking about, pull somebody in and then not give them raises even though they're supposed to. They do that because it works, because they save money and people don't put up enough of a fuss for it to be an actual issue.
I do love that you say that, though, because all the guys that they made those offers to have now left because they were just pissed off by that behavior.
Yeah.
And so they don't have anyone.
Yeah.
They don't have anyone now. So now the boss is essentially doing all the work himself because he can't get anyone in.
Respect has always been my biggest issue in a workplace, and it's why I appreciate where I'm at now. I got very lucky on finding such a nice group of dudes. Nobody has to yell. Nobody screams. Oh, funny enough, the episode in Mercenaries where I talked about my friend at work is the episode he checked out.
Really?
Yeah.
You're serious?
Seriously. He was like, I was the star. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, you were talking about me. Talking about classic rock music and how repetitive the lyrics are. And I'm like, fucking what?
As if he found that.
I have always talked about that. About people that I talk about eventually listening to me talk about them. And it was like the stars aligned for that episode. That episode came out 18 minutes before he watched it.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was one of the newer ones.
Just the odds.
Yeah. What fucking nightmare is this?
Yeah, we're in jail. Do you not remember this part of the game?
And you're racing in your underwear?
We're always in our underwear.
This is fucked up, man.
It never changes, but yeah, we're racing for... So, we race...
And the fucking guy's on the comm like, oh boy.
Oh my god, yeah, he sounds really grizzled. We race, and then when we finish the race, the warden reads poetry to the winner. Not kidding, that's what we're racing for.
Is this a short story from like high school?
A little bit, yeah.
The Underwear Bandit? Also, I'm pretty sure England didn't exist in this time period.
In this time period?
Yeah.
I don't think this has a time period.
Oh.
I think this is
Did that flag exist in medieval times?
Which flag? The European or the British flag?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Mm.
I mean,
it's kind of funny, but like, does the game really have a sense of humor beyond those underwear?
No.
Yeah.
No.
This
Oh
game...
shit! I moved too fast.
What?
See, he's got like a little bar. That's his hearing bar. Which doesn't really make any sense. Like, you're allowed to walk as long as you don't walk consecutively.
Yeah, because he hears steps and he's like, just drops of water.
Just shuffling back and forth. Yeah, so he's reading poetry off the wall. Weird.
And they didn't change his what's it called? His character model.
Yeah, he's the same as every other guard.
He looks like every other guard.
Come on. Give me the key. Give me the key. Give me the key. Ah! I actually think you
have to randomly choose one.
No, I think you have to do it twice, because no matter what, I always fuck it up the first time, and I generally get it the time after that. Yeah, okay, that's right, because there's... So, you have to...
Whoa.
Yeah. You have to live here for a year.
Wow.
Time to race again?
Stay in there, and I'll get to you in a moment. You might have noticed there's a few less of you this year.
Oh, jeez.
No, there isn't. There was 3 of us last year. There's still fucking 3 of us. Whatever. I just don't understand this part. Like, I get that, yes, I'm in prison, and they're trying to give you the impression that you're in prison. But he was just here. And he's gonna walk away just so he can come back. This is why I'd love to be playing on PC. Just hit the little tilde, can toggle fucking collisions, walk through the wall, and beat the shit out of that guard.
Peanut Butter Gamer does like hacking videos where he hacks like console games and stuff and does really stupid shit with it. It's fucking hilarious. He just spawns like 100 enemies just to see what happens when like the engine tries to like comprehend that.
You remember when I did that in Far Cry? Far Cry 2, you had a map builder.
Yes.
And so I think I just stacked up 1,000 of those ammunition crates, because when you blow up an ammunition crate, it starts shooting bullets in every direction.
Oh.
And so I blew it up, but there was so many bullets going in so many directions, the game just crashed. It just had no way to handle all of those different objects.
I think that there's a game that is basically just a simulator of giant fights. And so you can just be like 1,000 sheep versus 100 elephants, and then you just watch it happen. And Dunkey made a video about it. It's hilarious.
Such a great simulator.
Like some of the combinations he comes up with, and like the way that they fight each other is hilarious.
Yeah, 11 elephants, 6 sheeps, and a warthog are gonna take on
a single M1 Abrams tank.
Yeah. Dude, I bet you 11 elephants would actually do all right against the tank as long as they were close enough. As long as they could close that distance.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what the reload time is on that main gun, though.
All I'm thinking is, actually, I don't know. A tank could definitely blow all of them up all at once if they grouped enough. But if all the elephants just fanned out and then just collapsed on the tank and started tearing at it, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, did they design those for elephants? I don't know.
All I'm thinking is that 11 elephants is a lot of force. So if, let's say 3 or 4 of those elephants all grouped up on the same side of the tank and decided they wanted to flip it, it would be flipped.
They could probably actually toss it
Probably
through the air.
I watched
11.
11.
It's a lot of elephants, man.
Well, it's like 100 humans still couldn't pick up a car and throw it.
Yes, they could. They just couldn't get under it together.
Well, that's what I mean.
With the strength of 100 humans, you could fire a car.
Well, exactly. But that's the strength of 100 humans. But 100 humans, like you said, couldn't actually get into position to do that. Same with the elephants. You could only fit so many elephants on the side of the tank. Imagine they surround it like they're gonna pick up a smart car, and they all just get their tusks underneath.
That becomes a real issue, though.
What?
Like, in this situation, the number of elephants you can fit on one side of a tank becomes a real issue.
Oh, as far as the fight.
It's like something you'd have to consider, you know? It'd be like a daily issue. You're like, I cannot fit enough elephants.
We gotta get these fucking elephants around this tank, man.
This is an overwhelming amount of elephants. Also, 11 elephants sounds like a pretty decent name for a band.
A good band, yeah. I watched a TED Talk the other day that was really fascinating. I think elephants reminded me of it. And this guy was... he was trying to suggest a way to stop desertification, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's when desert forms.
Oh, I was gonna say it sounds like when something turns into a dessert.
Yeah, not that. And so what he pointed out is that when people have their own individual animals, those animals will stick with the same area of ground and just fucking destroy it. But he said what we got to do is we have to try and mimic the way it used to be before humans got involved. And before humans got involved, your missing belongings. Before humans got involved, they would just be in pack sizes as huge as possible because they were safest when they had the most amount of things around.
Another situation where the edges were affected more than the center.
That's a very, very good point. And so... what they did is they've started using larger and larger groups of animals because they actually, when they move them enough, those animals actually fertilize the ground with their waste. And so this one country, I forget which one it was, but they brought 25,000 sheep together into a single herd.
Wow.
Yeah. And they showed the picture of the sheep, and it looked like a concert because they went on for hundreds and hundreds of feet. It was ridiculous how many sheep they packed into this place. Sorry, I know you guys are my fellow prisoners, but I do not have time for your shit.
There's a photographer who photographs large numbers of naked people. Like, he organizes them.
Oh.
And
okay.
I'm pretty sure he's at I think 1,000 was his record on one photograph.
Jesus.
Yeah, and in some cases he has them really well organized, in rows, like in an army.
That'd be a very uncomfortable picture to pose for.
And well, probably not, because apparently he's got some sort of forum system where people all around the world sign up for it, and he can tell where they are, so he can sort of rally them within a certain amount of time his notice.
Sorry, I don't see how that makes it any less awkward standing there in an army of naked people.
Because that person's not awkward being naked around other people.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I could definitely see that. But I think there's a difference between being naked around people and being naked around hundreds of people all facing in the same direction. There would just be something unusual about it, don't you think?
Part of why they do it, though.
Probably, yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, but it's cool. It's cool, in a way. All right, we're gonna keep going. We gotta get to the Kracken. The fucking Kracken.
Fucking Kracken?
Fucking Kracken, bud. That actually, you know what? I actually like really want a rum and coke all of a sudden. now that we mentioned the Kracken.
I really like that image of that health bar, like the face next to the health bar. He's got like a shit-eating grin.
That's my mom. That's our mom. Seriously, no. Like, she is your mom.
It looks like a dude. Look at it.
It definitely looks like a dude. I'm not gonna deny that. Oh man.
There's Hobbs.
What, that little thing there?
Yeah.
No, that was one of those pods that explodes. The ones I like blasted with my magic earlier in the game. Remember that big old field of exploding thing?
No.
Oh, this is one of the weird things about this game. When I get that slow time, I don't have to fight anybody at all. I didn't fight anyone, and my mom didn't take any damage because time was frozen, so they couldn't attack her. That was just...
Well, there's an example. This is something that's kind of bugged me up for a long time. Like, when people talk about...
Yes! They did it again!
What happened? Oh, that weird...
They did the same thing! They must have done that animation, and they're like, well, we have to use it. We did it.
We don't have any time. It really bugs me when someone says that you should play a game in a certain way, even like you shouldn't cheese the game. It's like, no, actually, the developer shouldn't allow you to cheese the game.
Yeah, that makes more sense to me.
Like, in a game of actual chess.
Fuck you, fucking assholes! I'm gonna kill each and every one of you. Sorry. Games of chess.
In a game of chess, you can physically move the like the pieces in a way that you are not allowed to actually move as far as the game is concerned, right? No one's physically stopping you from doing that. You can do whatever you want, but the person is just gonna be like, no, that's not how the pawn works. You can't do that. In a video game of chess, you physically cannot move the pawn in any direction that it cannot move, right? Because that's how the game it's supposed to be, like more than just a rule set. It is like absolute. You cannot do this thing within the bounds of the game. That's how it's supposed to be. If you can move the pawn anywhere you want and the game is just like, please don't, then it's not a well-designed game. And if you can easily cheese the game out like you've been doing, where you run past everybody with an easily usable thing, with a resource you have more than enough of, then nobody thought that through.
Yeah, that's true. It was not well thought out.
No, you threw that in there and you're like, whatever, mana will balance it out. You didn't balance out mana.
Yeah, well, what they didn't balance out with mana is the cost of mana potions. I can buy pretty much infinite mana potions with the amount of gold that they give you. So when I go to a shop, I just buy all their mana. And that's actually when I went to the guild earlier. I was disappointed because I'd already bought its mana. I was hoping that I could get more. Give me more of the stuff, man.
I do find very frequently that video games will start you off with not a lot of money, and then just out of nowhere, you will suddenly get so much that you don't know what to do with.
And that's not fun. And
I was loving the experience of like grinding in Red Dead, of being like, I don't know if I can afford these bullets. And then like you do like one mission, you make like $1,000 in 1799. You make $1,000. Or no, 1899. Yeah, 1899. Which is like an ass load of money. It's like more than you'll ever need, and then if you continue doing missions, you'll basically never want for anything. And it's like, so what's the point of like all the things that you give me to do money making things if I just make too much money in like the main thing?
Assassin's Creed 2 had that same problem.
Yeah.
You're scraping, and then all of a sudden you get a villa, and that villa makes income, and then you just never have to worry about money again.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like this isn't the real world where you try and like make a steady investment so that you don't have to work a day in your life. I'm here to work, motherfucker. I bought your game so I can work.
That is kind of funny. Like in a video game, you're looking to do the work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just to me, it just doesn't make sense to do that because it invalidates all the currency I worked hard for at the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And when you play the game again, all it makes you do is wait for the villa. Like, why would I give a shit about gold until I get to the villa? I know I'm gonna get all the gold when I get there. So I don't know. It just undermines the desire to play the game the way it was sort of intended.
You said that very quickly. I really appreciated how well you pronounced villa. Get to the villa.
Get to the villa.
Get to the villa.
Get to the villa.
What is happening?
Oh man,
Oh,
he's trying to
geez.
save. Oh boy. Oh, thank you for joining us. That was the Kracken. The Kracken.